This is Couples Court with the Cutlers.
This is the case of Hunter versus Schmidt. You all have been together for 10 years. You've been engaged for 6 years, but the marriage is on hold depending on the outcome of today's proceedings. Mr. Hunter, tell us why you opened your case today.
I feel like my fiancée cheated on me with my cousin.
With your cousin?
With my cousin.
And you're here to find out if that's true.
Exactly.
Did you say you think she cheated with your cousin?
Yes, ma'am.
Your family member?
My family member.
Oh, my goodness.
Mr. Hunter, if you find out she is cheating, then what?
We got the marriage application right here.
I also brought some.
And it would definitely be ripped up.
Because you still have questions and concerns.
Still have doubts.
And you need answers.
Need answers.
You know, Mr. Hunter, I can look at you. You're perspiring. You got tears in your eyes. I know you're nervous about the outcome today,
right,
but you are invested in this relationship.
Definitely, heart and soul.
Well, I'm invested in this relationship too, though.
Okay, tell us about that.
10 years is a long time. I'm ready to get this over with. Like, I need him to know I'm telling the truth.
6 years is a long time to wait.
A very long time.
It's a long time to wait, Mr. Cutler.
Yeah, because, we dated for 7 years before we got married. Between dating and engagement, 7 years. So I know what it's like to be in a long-term relationship before even getting married.
It's hard that he accuses me of doing stuff like that. And I mean, I can understand to a certain degree, but it's just, I need him to know.
What kind of strain is this putting on your relationship? Because the fact that it's on hold and you're having to wait and wait and wait, how does that make you feel?
Horrible. It's just heavy, and I'm tired of him saying, like, he thinks that the foundation's cracked. I need him to know it's solid.
The foundation definitely is cracked, like you said. I mean, we can't build up a marriage upon, with her having relations with my family member, It's cracked.
There was no relation.
When you look at her, you don't feel like you can trust her.
Exactly.
And you can't trust her to the next step, which is marriage.
Exactly.
Well,
that's exactly what I'm saying, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I was unfaithful. So it was about 6 years ago.
So in the past, you have been unfaithful.
Exactly.
Yes.
You do admit that.
Yes.
And that is part of fueling your issue.
Exactly.
Okay, tell me what happened in the past.
Well, she admitted that she had cheated with her ex, who she was with for a long time.
But it took for me to lose him to realize what I lost.
Since that time, you have not cheated with anybody.
No one.
And that's what you want to show him today.
I don't believe that.
The craziest stuff it's
believe
been
that.
so crazy how he's done it. Sometimes I've just been, it's a great day and then it turns into a horrible day because I did something wrong or he's haunted by the past. So I'm just ready to clear this up.
So, Mr. Hunter, you believe that Ms. Schmidt has cheated with your cousin.
Right.
Why do you believe that?
I got arrested, I called from jail, like, why ain't I been bailed out yet? And they told me that they was together working on that. I told them both, okay, look, hey, cuz, I appreciate you trying to help me out, but don't worry about that. That's not your responsibility. So you can go ahead and go home, and I'll see you when I get out.
She did bail you out.
Right, but she did bring him all the way back out to the house, Your
cousin?
Yes.
How do you know that?
Well, the neighbor.
And the neighbor said?
He asked me, why was your cousin, still out here after he was in jail? So,
And you thought your cousin had left town?
Exactly. I thought he had left. I even asked Mrs. Schmidt, did you go ahead and drop my cousin off? She's like, yeah, I dropped him off. The judge, I submitted a map to the court.
You submitted a photo to the court?
Yeah, a photo to the court showing,
Let's take a look at that.
Okay.
Okay, if you look to the left over here.
Yes, sir.
On the second floor is where my neighbor stays. That's his balcony. And he goes out to have a smoke break because he doesn't smoke inside his house. Okay. So he's always on his balcony, Okay. And we stayed right to the right there. So he has a bird's eye view of the the coming ins and out. So
he can look straight over at your place.
But I know he sits there, so it's like, I know he's gonna see it.
Okay, Ms. Schmidt, when Mr. Hunter asked you, did the cousin come back to the house, did you tell him no?
I did, but I also said you're gonna believe whatever you
why
want to
lie
believe
about that?
anyways because of the past. Like, he's just gonna automatically
Wait,
think
hold on,
that.
let me. Here's the problem. You've had an infidelity issue in the past.
Correct.
You weren't truthful if you were carrying on with your ex.
Yes.
So you have an issue in the trust.
Yeah, I understand that.
And if you lie, even if it's gonna make him mad, it's only gonna make it worse when he finds out you're lying. Which means now, what were you doing? Why did you lie?
Why would you lie?
We were
that
both
suspicion.
trying to help him get the bail
Still,
money
why
to get
would
out
you
of
lie,
jail.
though?
And
But the bottom line is this: you lied, and you got busted. Yeah. That's the problem. Yeah. And when you lie and get busted, this is where you end up. You end up sitting here talking to me.
When you found out that your cousin, in fact, was at your house when he was not supposed to be, what did you do?
Well, first I asked my cousin, you know. I asked him. He lied to me. So I'm like, okay. So then I go to Katie and ask her, like, okay. So was he there? At first, you know, she denied it, and then she finally admitted.
Well, Mr. Hunter, you say your cousin lied.
My cousin lied as well.
That puts a question in my mind, and maybe it puts the same question in your mind. Why would your cousin lie?
Exactly.
I don't even know that.
Exactly.
You don't have her answer for that?
That makes me think that they conspired together and something happened. Like, why would you both lie?
And that something happened was that she slept with him.
Exactly.
Do you have any other evidence that Miss Schmidt may be cheating?
We were all hanging out at the bar, me, her, and my mom, and one of my mom's friends.
All right.
You know, we're having a good time. All of a sudden, Katie disappears. Okay.
When you say she disappears, she just...
Literally
makes it sound
literally
so
disappeared.
bad.
Like, we're in a predominantly African-American establishment, like pretty much all African-Americans, so Katie stands out, you know.
Okay.
She disappeared, you know.
So you're looking around and this face is not coming up anyway.
Yeah, she's gone. So I'll go outside, check on her, not outside. I come back in, my mom's friend like, are you looking for the white girl? I'm like, yeah, I am. She's like, well, I seen him get in the truck with 2 guys. I'm like, okay.
All right. Miss Schmidt, I can't wait to hear from you. You get in the truck with 2 guys?
Yeah, he's making it seem so bad. I told him, we went outside for a cigarette.
We who?
Who is we?
Me and Jeff.
Okay.
And we went back inside, we sat down with his family member, and we were drinking. I had about 2 to 3 drinks maybe, and I'm not a drinker at all.
Okay.
And they were pretty strong, and I started feeling real woozy and nauseous, and I started getting dizzy, and I'm like, I need to go outside. I need to go back outside. I need some fresh air. I don't feel good. Something ain't right. And I'm
That's all
like,
well and good. How did you end up in a truck with 2 guys? That's the
I
question.
never ended up in the truck with 2 guys at all. I was sitting in the back of a seat, which I believe to be a cop car, but I have like no recollection of what really happened. And then I wake up to his mother, or his family member's voice, and I'm in a hospital gown at the hospital. And she's telling me that he's down the hall with a shattered elbow. And I thought he might have got hit by a car. I didn't know what happened. Like, I have no idea what happened.
So, Ms. Schmidt, 2 different stories.
Were y'all in the hospital together? Is that true?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
true.
at least we know that y'all were both in the hospital.
Yeah,
okay.
we were both there.
At least we okay, we
I
got those
just
2.
don't
So
know
wait, how did you
Question
find out
is-
she was in the hospital?
Okay, after I found out that she was gone, I couldn't find her, I went home. She had the keys. But our balcony door was like unlocked, but it was on the 2nd floor, so I thought that I would climb up there and just get in. Didn't work
was a
out.
lot
The whole
smaller
railing
than he
fell.
was.
I fell, shattered, broke my elbow, had the ambulance, had to take me to the hospital.
So y'all just ended up at the same hospital?
Exactly, so I'm in the
Yeah,
hospital.
weird.
What a coincidence.
I'm in a hospital bed, and my mom comes in my room, like, Katie's down the hall. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, Katie's down the hall, and she was down the hall.
So at this time, the court would like to call hip-hop and recording artist, Mr. Demetrius Michi Harris. Ron, would you please escort him into the courtroom?
Yes, sir. Mr. Harris. How you doing? How you doing? Come on to the witness stand.
Ms. Harris, how are you?
How you doing? Thanks for having me. It's good to see y'all.
Thank you for being here. As someone who's been labeled a cheater,
Yeah.
and as someone who's been in that type of situation, how can you identify with today's testimony?
First off, I can see both sides. You know,
Okay.
coming from his point of view she has a history of doing it, you know,
Right.
got a history of doing it. So no matter what you do or where you go, back in my mind, I'm always gonna think, what is she doing, who's she with, you know, things like that. When you've been someone for 10 years, you know when they lying. In like my situations, when someone will call and say they see me leaving somewhere with somebody, it's because I was doing some wrong things. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So me, automatically, I'm like, oh yeah, I know exactly what's going on.
What advice would you give Mr. Hunter and Ms. Schmidt?
I would say, regardless of the results today, you've been with her for 10 years. You know, you can't throw that away. You don't just spend 10 years with someone and then just say, oh, I'm done. And, you know, no matter if it's infidelity or not. You know, so I think regardless of what happens today, you need to leave it here today and figure out how you're going to move forward, you know?
Thank you so much.
No,
Thank you for joining us.
Of course.
I think at this point we have enough information, Mr. Cutler. We have a history of infidelity. He believes she cheated with his cousin, and she takes him to their home, and his neighbor sees it and tells him about it. That would have been bad enough, but when he asked the cousin and he asked Miss Schmidt, they both lie. Why would they lie about it? The third part is she disappeared from the bar. But based on all of those issues, those situations, Mr. Hunter believes she's cheating.
And because you believe she's cheating, your 6-year engagement, your 10-year relationship is at risk.
Definitely.
Well, this court has done a full and complete investigation to determine, is she cheating? At this time, the court would like to hear from licensed and certified polygraph examiner Kendall Shull. Ron, would you please escort Mr. Shull into the courtroom?
Yes, Sean. Kendall Shull.
Right through my
Good day, Mr. Shull.
Good day.
How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
So good to see you. Now, you performed a polygraph examination of Miss Schmidt, is that correct?
That's correct.
Would you share for the court record your credentials?
I spent 30 years with the FBI in Washington, D.C. The last part of my career, I was actually chief of the entire FBI's polygraph program.
So this is not your first rodeo?
It's not, Your Honor.
All right.
Ms. Schmidt was asked, on the night you disappeared at the bar, did you have sexual intercourse with another man? What was her response to that question?
She said no.
What did the lie detector determine?
The lie detector determined that she was being truthful, Your Honor.
Ms. Schmidt was asked, during your 10-year relationship, have you had sexual intercourse with Mr. Hunter's cousin? What was her response?
She said no.
What did the lie detector determine?
The lie detector determined she was being truthful, Your Honor.
Sorry about that. I apologize. I really do.
Ms. Schmidt, how are you feeling?
I'm overwhelmed.
I can see the tears in your eyes. You're,
Yeah, it's hard.
yeah.
Trying
I
to
truly
keep it back.
apologize, for doubting you.
Well-
I really do.
We have one more question. Ms. Schmidt was asked, other than the one time you admitted to, during the 10 years while in a committed relationship, have you had sexual intercourse with anyone other than Mr. Hunter? What was her response to that question?
She said no.
What did the lie detector determine?
The lie detector determined that she was being truthful, Your Honor.
Ms. Schmidt, those are tears of joy, relief.
Relief and joy.
Okay. Mr. Hunter, what do you want to say to Ms. Schmidt?
I'm sorry, man. I love you too.
That's a first step to restoring your relationship. And I am so happy for both of you. But y'all got some work to do.
Definitely.
Y'all really got some work to do. And you have got to be truthful. Even when it kills you and you're like, oh, this is gonna lead to a fight. I'd rather be a fight about the truth than a fight about a lie.
That's why it's been as long as it's been.
And so, Mr. Hunter, you've got to also let go of the past.
Definitely.
You've been together for 10 years.
Wait, he need to pull that trigger. Get
You've been
that
engaged for
going.
6 years. You got the application right there. Go get it filed.
Definitely.
You all are married. You've been together for 10 years. You've got 3 kids together. But a recent change in Mr. Brown's behavior may result in a permanent change to this relationship. Am I right, Ms. Brown?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. You've initiated this case today. Tell us why.
Me and Eli are like a very open couple. He's my best friend. We have no secrets. We even share phones sometimes. If he needs to use my phone, that's fine. If I need to use his phone, that's fine. It's never been an issue. Recently, there was an incident where I needed to use the flashlight on his phone. I go to put the password into the phone. It doesn't work. He looks at me and grabs the phone away, puts whatever the password is in now, and allows me to use the flashlight. So that means the password has changed, right?
Okay.
The next point that I have is we sleep naked. Always have our whole entire relationship, our whole entire marriage. That's something that we do. We're comfortable. That's how we sleep. Lately, Mr. Brown is covered up to the neck.
He's wearing a turtleneck to bed.
Covered up to the neck with the comforter, back turned to me, pajama pants and underwear on as if I'm turning my back. I want absolutely nothing.
It's cold. It's cold. She has a freezing cold in the house.
So he put a passcode on his privates too.
Yes, yes, Your Honor. That is exactly what I'm thinking. And the last issue I'm thinking, Your Honor, is he has a business. All of a sudden, before business calls were handled in front of me, I know about your clients, I know what's going on, so that's fine, right? I'm supposed to know those things. All of a sudden, now the phone rings. Where's Eli? Running to the bathroom. Why can't you answer the phone in front of me?
She knows why I do that. She knows why I do that.
Why is everything in the bathroom?
We got the kids running around crazy. We got the TV on. I gotta be professional. I got a business. I'm trying to keep my business afloat, get more customers. I just want to be professional, but she's thinking something else.
Okay,
So,
what is this business that you have that means you got to take private calls?
I have a painting business.
Painting?
Yeah, painting.
Okay.
Yes.
Like painting houses?
Painting
or?
houses, businesses, anywhere.
Okay, so commercial painter.
Yeah.
So what is it about a commercial painter that you have to go into another room? I mean, we've had our house painted.
Well, you know, when somebody's picking those colors, they need you. They need you privately.
In a private room.
I want
that nobody else can hear the colors.
I want to pick teal for the bathroom. You got to do that on the low.
But teal number 1 or teal number 2?
Well, I kind of feel teal number 3. That's what I'm feeling. So you want to do that on the low. Am I right?
You're right.
Okay.
So in this chaos, what makes you think that he's cheating now?
On Facebook, Eli happened to post a picture of me. Eli is a leg man. He loves my legs. That was like one of the first things he said that he liked about me. I know it's strange. I do have wonderful legs. But, Your Honor, okay, we start getting likes and comments. Everybody's enjoying the picture. All of a sudden, somebody comes out of nowhere and says, well, if you like your wife so much, then why are you in my inbox?
And Ms. Brown, you submitted your recollection of that Facebook post to the court,
Yes,
correct?
I did.
All right, let's take a look at that. If you love your wife so much, why are you in my inbox?
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
That does beg the question, why were you in her inbox so much?
I shouldn't have been. I should have ignored her. I should have.
So you admit you were in her inbox?
She was in mine first. I didn't go talking to her. She came talking to me.
I didn't ask you who did it first. Okay.
Right?
This isn't third grade. We're talking about adult stuff here. Okay?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly, Your Honor.
You admit you were in her inbox.
I was.
In a manner that you shouldn't have been.
I shouldn't have been. I don't know why I
But
did
see,
it.
I want to get to what happened after that, Your Honor. She comes to my personal inbox on Facebook and sends me screenshots of where he was in her inbox, sending eyes emojis, like, I guess, what's up type thing, and it said, what's popping?
Well, she was looking good. She was looking good. I was weak at the moment. I was weak.
Okay.
I was weak.
That's an admission you probably should not have made, but okay, let's go with that.
So, Ms. Brown, did you ever confront this woman or talk to this woman
You
or
know
ask
what?
her anything?
Your Honor, I don't ask questions to females because at the end of the day, I'm his wife and he owes me something. She doesn't owe me anything. She doesn't owe me anything. You do.
Okay.
I am so glad to hear you say that because so many folk come in here and they want to box with the woman, and I'm like, she ain't got nothing with you. This is the one.
Exactly. So he gets double the anger. He gets it for her. He gets the anger for her and him.
So we've got this Facebook thing, and he admits that he shouldn't have been there. And so you all work through that. Have you found anything that makes you think he's cheating?
Oh, my goodness. Let me get to this story, Your Honor. Okay, so Friday nights is his night. Eli leaves out on Friday nights. I don't see Eli till about 6 o'clock in the morning to maybe 12 o'clock p.m. That may be the times that he's gonna come in.
It looked bad.
next
but it's not.
day?
It just looks bad.
Day.
Just looks bad.
The next day. The absolute next day.
Does he tell you where he's going?
She knows I'm not doing nothing. No.
Oh, my goodness. This
She
is
knows.
the thing. Oh, I'm going to the studio. I went to the studio with my friend. Eli's never rapped a day in his life.
So he disappears, and you claim you're at the studio.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't rap?
Well, you know, anybody been to the studio know how that goes. I mean,
No, I don't know. So I'm asking.
Look, pretend we haven't been to the studio. Tell us how it goes.
I mean, you support artists, you help write, help produce, you know, things like that. You know what I mean? And,
You
know,
helping writing and producing?
Yeah, I do. I do a little bit, not a lot. I just help write and stuff like that.
So we got a Renaissance man. He paints, he writes, he produces.
I do it all.
Exactly.
I do it all.
If you're doing all this, why didn't your wife know about this?
She knew about that. She don't believe me.
Have you ever taken her with you?
No.
Oh.
So
That might be a novel approach. Take your wife with
Who's
you.
gonna watch kids?
You know what? If you real serious, you figure out a babysitter. This your hometown, you know somebody can babysit.
Well,
Thank
okay, well, hold on for a minute, because I gotta...
Thank you.
I understand where you're going with that. I'm not sure I agree with it, because you need time to hang out with
You
your
don't agree
friends.
with me?
I don't agree with you on this. No, because you need time to hang out with your friends. I need time to hang out with my friends. Guys need time with guys. Girls
Yeah.
need time with girls. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that inherently. You're saying, well, if you're going out, you need to take your wife with you.
Not every time. I agree. I agree to this extent. Not every time.
Okay.
But he's saying that he's never taken her out with him. Poor choice. And the other part of it is just disappearing off the face of the earth. No.
I'll give you that.
Okay.
So, Ms. Brown,
See, he does agree with me.
to a degree. I agree with you to a degree.
Exactly.
So, Ms. Brown, when he finally gets home, what do you say to him?
Do you mind if I show you?
Oh, absolutely.
yes.
You got an exhibit.
Yes, I actually do.
All right,
Okay.
let's see what you
Oh,
got.
wow.
Okay, Your Honor.
Ron, you gonna help her out?
I got to see this.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm getting the girls in the car. We're getting ready to go.
Okay.
Normal family day. Okay, of course, when I get in the car, Eli has the seat all revved all the way back, and his legs are longer than mine, so of course the seat is all the way pulled back. Now I look around the car, my sandals are in the back, that's always there, and I always keep a bottle of perfume. Those are things that, you know, women just always have random stuff in the car, and those are two things that I always leave. So I'm in the car, I'm pushing the seat forward, pushing the seat forward, pushing the seat forward. I hear a plunk. What was that sound? I look, and before I know it, a box of condoms falls out from in between the seats.
I can explain
Okay.
it.
All right.
So
Yeah, we gonna let you do that.
Okay.
You can believe that.
All right.
So the first thing I do, Your Honor, I grab that, and the next thing I do is say, let me check for my limited edition perfume.
Okay.
So I start checking around. The sandals are there. I'm fine with that. I'm looking like, okay, let me check the glove box. That is where I usually keep the perfume, in my glove box. I'm looking, it's not there. I say, okay, let me give it a chance. I jump in the back seat, it's not there. I jump in the third row, it's not there.
Okay.
I jump in the trunk, it's not there.
You are trying to find this perfume.
Oh, I wanted my limited edition, Your Honor. I won't get it again.
Okay.
So So I take the box of condoms and I proceed to asking Eli, where did these come from? Now, remind you, it's a female been in my car, clearly. Why is condoms in the car?
Right.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Brown. Let me have you step back to the podium. Mr. Brown.
Your Honor.
All right.
That looks very bad.
Really?
Very bad.
Exactly.
Look, I'm glad you saved me the trouble of having to say that.
But I let my friend use the car. I was at, he's at the studio. He said he needed to go to the store. Long story short, she goes get in the car. I didn't check the car. She come back. You didn't tell me you threw the condoms at me when you came in the house.
Well, I said I showed him.
Well, that's not the important.
I didn't say how.
She showed you all right.
My friend had the car. I don't know what he did with it, but why would I leave condoms in the car? Well, I wouldn't even do it like that. That's stupid now.
And that's what you're telling this court. You are not involved with any other women.
No.
And you did not have those condoms for the purpose of being with some other women.
No. I don't use condoms. I only have sex with her. We don't use condoms.
Which makes it even more suspicious that there are condoms, because the fact that you don't use them and now there are condoms in her car, she's like, okay, what is this? All right, so Miss Brown, have you ever caught him with another woman?
A woman did come in my inbox on Facebook and say that she FaceTimed with Eli while nude. And I'm assuming they had phone sex through the FaceTime, because she definitely said they were nude.
Both of them were nude.
Oh, yes. She was proud to admit that.
So it wasn't just her, it was him too.
Absolutely.
So not just phone sex, video sex, basically.
Yes, exactly. And she was very happy to tell me about it.
Mr. Brown, were you having video sex with some other woman?
I got caught up in the moment. I'm sorry.
Oh.
But I didn't touch it.
You didn't touch her, but you touched you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So you're saying you didn't have any physical sexual contact with this woman. It was all just via video.
It was random. I got caught in the moment. I shouldn't have done it. I apologize to her, but still, she shouldn't have went her inbox told. I still don't see the point of telling her that.
Okay, but here's the thing.
If she had if that woman had a man at the time, I would go in his inbox, tell him, and mess her up.
But you're focusing on the wrong thing. You're focusing on why the woman told her instead of focusing on why you were doing what you were doing in the first place. That's where your focus needs to be.
Absolutely.
You can't control other people, but you can control you.
That's true. That's true. I'm working on that.
So let me make sure I got this straight, Mr. Brown. Your testimony to this court today is that you've never physically cheated on your wife.
Yes, I never did it.
And Ms. Brown, I see you kind of shaking your head. I see the expression on your face. You kind of want to believe that, but I think you don't.
Exactly, Your Honor.
And that's why you're here today, and that's why you need answers today.
Exactly. I need answers today. I really need to know, because this determines what the future of our family.
And what is at stake?
Everything.
Mr. Cutler, it is all on the line. It is heartbreak in the making right here in front of us.
And Ms. Brown needs to know where this relationship is going and whether it's going to go forward.
Exactly.
And she needs answers.
Right.
Yes.
And to help her get these answers, this court has done a full and complete investigation. At this time, the court will call a certified polygraph examiner, Kendall Shull, to determine, is he cheating? Ron, please escort Mr. Shull in. Mr. Shull, good day.
Good day, Your
How are
Honor.
you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you, sir.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
Would you state your credentials, please, for the court?
I spent almost 30 years with the FBI in Washington, D.C. When I retired, I was actually chief of the entire FBI's polygraph program. I think I'm the only person in the world that's got a master's degree in polygraph.
And you conducted a polygraph examination on Mr. Brown, is that correct?
I did, Your Honor.
You asked Mr. Brown, did you have physical sexual contact with a woman from Facebook who commented on the photo you posted of your wife's legs? What was his response to that question?
He said no, Your Honor.
What did the lie detector determine?
The lie detector determined he was being truthful, Your Honor.
All right, let me ask this one. You asked Mr. Brown, since the start of your relationship with Mrs. Brown, have you had sexual intercourse with any woman other than your wife? What was his response?
He said no, Your Honor.
What did the lie detector determine?
The lie detector determined that he was being truthful, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown, you had some inappropriate behavior. You've admitted inappropriate behavior. What are you gonna do differently?
I gotta man up and treat her better and put her first and stop being stupid.
There it is.
Stop being selfish.
Stop, there it is. You all are married. You've been married 2.5 years.
Yes, ma'am.
And you all met in high school and reconnected, is that correct?
Yes,
Correct.
Your Honor.
Ms. White, can you tell me why you brought your husband here today?
Because I want to know if my husband cheated on me after I had my baby last year.
So why do you think your husband cheated on you after you had a baby?
His past behavior that he had.
I was weak at that time. I was trying to fill a void, and that's the past. You got to let that go.
Are you in love with her?
Yes, I am.
What are you here to prove today?
Today that after May of last year, I have been faithful to her.
So the last time you cheated was a year ago.
Yes, sir.
All right, he's saying that. Have you believed him?
No, ma'am. The actions that he showed me, it's like he goes out with his friends, don't come home until 2 a.m.
So this marriage is on the rocks.
Obviously.
If it comes back today that in fact your husband has not cheated since he last told you that he did, are you going to be able to put the past behind you and move forward?
I want to build trust with him, but he doesn't give me that assurance that I can trust him again.
Look, love, you don't throw a house up in one stone.
Yeah.
You take one stone at a time.
Yeah.
And if he's been in the game building stone after stone for the last year, then that foundation is slowly being laid. I'm not asking you to say, oh, I'm going blind. I'm just saying you got to give a brother a chance.
Yeah, but it's just I'm hurt from everything he's done.
That's right, Your Honor. That's right.
So, Mr. Gunnels,
Yes,
do
Your
you understand that your family, your home, is at risk today?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm really here to clear the air and assure her that I'm not doing those things.
Ms. White, at one point, you loved him.
Yes, I did, dearly.
Okay, I reviewed your case file, the things that you filed with this court, and I saw your wedding video, and you all were happy.
Yes,
you were
ma'am.
very happy.
We were.
Tell me about the happy times.
The happy times I can recall, he'd give me flowers. I wasn't used to that. So I have the petals I saved.
It's very sweet.
I have them here.
And those are the petals that he gave you when?
3 times. It was one just because. The other one was on Valentine's Day, and the last one here, it was for my birthday.
All right, I understand that. I have the flowers, I have the yellow roses that Mr. Cutler gave me, our first Valentine. And that would have been February 1983. I still have those, so I understand about that. So you loved him.
Yes, ma'am, and it was a time he walked 4 miles in a snowstorm to me.
All right,
And
that's what I'm talking about.
That's true, Your Honor.
I was surprised because I wouldn't have did it for him.
All right, she's telling the truth. Can't condemn her. Can't condemn her.
But Ms.
I
White,
believe it.
okay, you're holding on to those rose petals. That means you're holding on to something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think deep down, you really do want this to work. You're afraid of being hurt.
Yes.
Okay? And that's understandable. In a relationship, that risk is always there. But if you got somebody on the other side who's trying to take the steps to rebuild the trust, you got to meet them. You got to let them take those steps.
Yeah.
And you got to meet them halfway there.
And that's what he's here trying to do today, to help rebuild the trust.
However, he's only entitled to that if he hasn't breached her trust in the last year.
True.
And so that's why we're here today. Tell us how the trust was first broken. Tell us about that.
I found out that he had sex with this young lady. She had texted me. She told me that she needed to tell me something that was involving her and my husband. And so she was like, yeah, we had sex these past 3 Mondays. I was like, let me put my baby down because I had my daughter in my hand. And so she told me everything from he got her a job at his job, which I had no knowledge of. And he walked right through the door, looked at her, shook his head, walked to the bedroom. I followed him and told him, what are you running for now? Your secret is here, so give me the truth.
I wasn't running.
I told him, hey, I don't want to be with you. You can leave with her, and that's the end of it. Later, she started playing on my phone, sending weird text messages.
There was a reason for that.
She was still in love with him, all this other stuff. They're gonna, potentially get together. And, I have the text messages to prove that she was texting him.
While she's giving you that, Your Honor, I also want to tell my side of that story.
Let's look at the text messages because I think this may help us.
This is a message from the other woman. You told me I was special to you, and when we had sex, you felt so alive.
And so, Mr. Gunnels, you wrote, y'all playing, bro. Too grown for that. Sad.
And the other woman replied, I don't want your wife to get my number, so I made this account.
Mr. Gunnels, did you have this text exchange with this coworker?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so you had sex with this other woman?
Not during that year, no.
Okay, but you have had sex with this woman while you were with Miss White?
Yes, that was the first occurrence.
So, Mr. Gunnels, you are here fighting for your relationship, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you end up sleeping with a coworker when you're a married man?
At that time, the other woman would make me feel like a man. She would not emasculate me. Jalecia had a problem with letting a man be a man.
He showed me a man, I wouldn't have to do that.
Okay.
And I totally have this whole year.
Okay, what was this other woman doing to make you feel like a man?
When I would do something for her or, just give her a compliment, she would validate that, well, I like the fact that you're doing this for me. Jalecia, on the other hand, she did not validate me at all for the things that I did. Working 7 days a week, I laugh at 70 hours.
This is all for affirmation?
I laugh at 70 hours.
So let me ask you this. How did you meet this coworker? You said you got her a job, so you didn't meet her at work.
Mm-mm.
Technically.
No, actually.
Actually, me and the other woman were having conversations before I actually got serious with Jalecia. I was just kind of scoping the scene, seeing which woman would be the right woman for me.
So you saw that she was the better woman, point blank? At
that time, yes.
All right, but you couldn't let the other one go?
I did, Your Honor.
No, you didn't.
For a certain amount of time. And
No, there's a difference between letting go and just kind of holding the rein loosely.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't let go, you just kind of was like, I'm not gonna hold tight.
Her name is still White. We got married by court and at the church. Why is your last name still White? Your last name is supposed to be Gunnels.
Not exactly. I sat there and told you that if you can stick 2 years being faithful to me, I would change my name. What did you do? You cheated.
That was before.
Embarrassed me.
That was before.
Negative.
We had already fixed that situation.
Negative.
Okay. Your Honor, we had already.
So you're telling me that from day one, when she decided not to take your name, that emasculated you.
That's
and started you down this track of feeling like she didn't see you as the man.
That's part of it.
I was using his phone, and a message came on his phone, and it said, "What's up?" So I was like, "Who is this? I don't know this person." And so I texted the person back. I was like, "What? Like, who are you?" And they was like, "Where he at?" And I was like, "What?"
What?
And so I scrolled the page down, and I saw a picture of her. She had on like a bra top and some shorts.
Okay, well, do you regret the affair or do you regret getting caught?
I honestly regret the affair because I felt empty inside. Your Honor, man to man, when you work and come home, wake up in the morning, go to work, and do the same thing every single day for about 2 to 3 years, you tend to become desensitized.
Okay, you talk to somebody who's been married for almost 30 years, who's worked in the same profession, the same job for the last 30 years with the same woman. I mean, so when you talk about, you know, being robotic, I mean, that's not an excuse.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I mean, you said man to man, so I'm just talking to you man to man.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, man to man, that's what men do.
And wait a minute, how many hours do you work a day, love?
Many. You know, 12, 14, just depends on what's going on.
For real?
Yeah, I mean, every day.
I understand.
Saturdays, Sundays, you know, the work has to get done. So, yeah, it is a grind. But you knew that going in, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so, I mean, man to man, you can't use that as an excuse.
All right, I think we've heard enough testimony on this part. You have a lawsuit in this case as well, Ms. White.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell the court briefly about that?
Yes, ma'am, I can. The confrontation I had with the young lady at his job that was sending text messages to my phone, I was just so fed up with it. So I went up there to her and I said, hey, I'm tired of you sending text messages to my phone. And she was like, yeah, I plan on doing something else with him again. So I muffed her in the face.
You did what?
You did what?
I mushed her in the face.
Okay.
You gave it a hand.
I have the evidence from my window being broken weeks later.
As far as the retaliation, if
Weeks
you
later,
her in her face, right?
I was taking my son
I am
to...
not-
Hold on, Mr. Gunnels.
I was taking my son to the zoo. However, on our way to the car, on the way to the car, I noticed that my window was shattered.
How do you know she broke out this window?
She later texted him and told him that, yeah, I broke your wife's window because she's not going to get away with hitting me in the face.
And this is the woman he was cheating with?
Yes.
She did not.
Okay. All right, did you replace the window?
No, sir.
Did you get an estimate to replace the window?
Yes, sir, I did.
And that's for the total of $700?
That's what he was going to charge me.
Okay, and you think he's responsible for that because of his infidelities?
Yes, sir.
As Ms. White has explained it, her window got broke because it was in retaliation for her mushing a woman in the face. And she mushed a woman in the face because it was a woman she confronted. And she confronted the woman because you were sleeping with this woman. Okay, you see how that chain goes?
In the past.
You see how that chain goes? It leads back to you.
I mean, you follow the line, it ends at you. But what kills me is legally, we can't hold you responsible for it.
Because it was done by another person. So we're gonna have to dismiss your claim, but that still leaves us with the love suit.
And what we need to establish is whether or not you have cheated in the last year. So we have ordered a polygraph test of you, Mr. Gunnels, and we have the results.
All right.
At this time, the court would like to call certified polygraph examiner Michael Williams. Ron, would you please escort Mr. Williams into the courtroom?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Williams, how are you doing?
Doing good. How are you this afternoon?
Doing okay. Good to see you.
So in this case, a polygraph was given of Mr. Gunnels, is that correct?
That's correct.
And he was asked, other than the infidelity you admitted to your wife, are you currently having sexual relations with any of your co-workers? What was his response?
His response was no.
What did the polygraph exam show? What did the polygraph exam show?
There was no significant physiological response, which is an indication of truthfulness.
That's all I'm trying to say, Your Honor. That's all I'm trying to say.
Mr. Gunnels, you were asked, since May 2016 until the present time, have you had sexual intercourse with anyone other than your wife? What was his response?
His response was no.
What did the polygraph indicate?
There was no significant response, which indicated he was telling the truth.
All I'm saying, Your Honor.
So I'm gonna say this to you, Ms. White. Forgiveness does not erase the past, but it does pave a way to your future.
Yeah.
Can you forgive your husband?
Yes.
All right.
Mr. Gunnels, you came to court today to prove that you've been faithful to your wife over the last year.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you've proven that.
Yes.
But it's not over. I don't care how emasculated you feel, how much of a grind it is. Man up, because that's what life is.
And Your Honor, that's exactly what I'm about to do as of right now. Me being a man and doing what I needed to do for a year, and you're constantly emasculated and look like the bad guy. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know how to play the victim. I don't know. Jalecia, I love you. But I feel like I'm not ready to carry on this relationship. There might be a possibility for something in the future, but as of right now, no.
All right. If you listen, a person will tell you exactly who they are. He just told you.
Yeah.
You deserve, as Aretha Franklin said it best, R-E-S-P-E-C-T. So, let him go.